Hey everyone, welcome to Brasov. I arrived here yesterday and I have to say, I'm already really impressed. This city is incredibly pretty. One of my first reactions was that the city looks like a German town. And of course, there is a reason for that. It's because it was developed by German-speaking Transylvanian Saxons. And it was once known as Kronstadt. I will be spending the next few days in the city, and let's see what else Brasov has to offer. Let's go!
After showing you a little bit of the main square yesterday, I thought I would spend this evening digging a little deeper into Brașov and checking out some of the highlights around the old town. One of the things I really like about staying here is that even though my apartment is only about 5 minutes from the historic center, I get to walk through places like this on the way there. It is such a beautiful park. I walk here every morning too. And honestly, Brasov is just a really pleasant city to walk around. My first stop was the Black Church, probably the most recognizable landmark in Brasov. It completely dominates this part of the old town and is one of the city's most important historic landmarks. What I really wasn't expecting to see inside was this collection of old Ottoman carpets. They reached Brașov through trade with the Ottoman Empire, and many were later donated to the church by wealthy local families and local trade guilds. Just around the corner is another one of Brașov's best-known little landmarks, Strada Sfori, or Rope Street. It's an extremely narrow passage through the old town, but apparently my timing isn't very good because it is temporarily closed for safety reasons. So this is what it normally looks like. From there, I continued toward Schei Gate. This gate was built in the 19th century to accommodate the increasing amount of traffic coming in and out of this part of the city. And right next to it, it's Catherine's Gate, which is much older. It dates back to the 1500s and is one of the few surviving reminders of Brașov's medieval fortifications. I actually really like seeing the two gates next to each other because they look completely different. From here, I just continued walking along the edge of the old town. And something I really appreciated since coming to Brașov is the temperature. Bucharest was extremely hot when I was there, whereas here, surrounded by the mountains, the evenings have been much cooler and much more comfortable. By the way, it's the month of August when I'm filming this. It makes such a difference when you actually want to spend a few hours walking around after work. And of course, after all that walking, I felt like I had earned something sweet, so I stopped at La Vatra to try a Romanian dessert. They have a really nice collection of pastry, but I wanted to try the one called Amandina. It's basically a chocolate sponge cake with chocolate cream, but the sponge is absolutely soaked in a rum-flavored syrup. Now, slightly awkward timing because I'm actually doing a dry August, and that means not drinking any alcohol this month. So technically, I'm not sure whether this counts as breaking it. I guess not because it's a very small amount. As for the cake itself, it was nice, but probably a little too syrupy for me, so I'm giving the Amandina a solid 6 out of 10. But if you have a sweet tooth, this place has a huge collection, so I would definitely still come here and try something else. And with that, I think that was a pretty successful little evening exploring Brașov. On another day, I headed into the Schei district, and this is one part of Brașov that I really recommend you don't miss. Just walk through Schei gate and continue for another 5 or 10 minutes, and eventually you arrive at Piața Unirii, or Union Square. This is where you will find St. Nicholas Church, and right next to it, the First Romanian School. And this was, by far, one of my favorite experiences in Brașov. It might not look like a huge attraction from the outside, but once you go in, there is so much history here. This was an important center of Romanian education, and some of the earliest Romanian language classes in Brașov were taught here. And then they actually let me sit down at one of the old desks and write with an ink pen. I absolutely loved this. The guide also told me that the Romanian national anthem was first sung in this very classroom, which made sitting here feel even more special. The museum continues upstairs as well, with lots of historic books and documents. So if you come to Brașov, I really cannot recommend this place enough. After the museum, I also went inside St. Nicholas Church, which is right next door, and as you can see, the interior is absolutely beautiful. This whole area feels quite different from the main old town, so definitely make the short walk into Schei rather than staying only in Old Town. From there, I headed back toward Tampa, probably the best known viewpoint over Brașov. Now, normally I would absolutely hike up, but today I really didn't feel like doing that much walking, so I cheated a little bit and took the cable car instead. The ride itself is very short, but you immediately start getting these amazing views over the city. From up here you can really appreciate how beautiful Brașov's location is, with the historic center sitting right below you and the mountains surrounding the city. And I think this was the perfect way to finish my week in Brașov. If you are visiting as a tourist, I think 2 full days are enough to see the main highlights of this city. And if you have a third day, you could use it for one of the popular day trips outside Brașov, Bran Castle, Brașov, or some of the other places around Transylvania. My experience was a little different because I'm slow traveling while working, so I stayed here for an entire week and explored mostly in the mornings and after work. And honestly, I really enjoyed living this way in Brașov. I hope this video gave you a little taste of what Brașov is like. And if Romania is on your travel list, I would definitely put Brașov on there too. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.